Should have made it freaking the other way. That doesn't work. Not yet. I'll fix it in a second. Today I don't have my laptop that I usually use, so I don't have the programs on this one to run the stream from my laptop. So it's not going to be super great, to be honest with you. I wanted to shoot the shit with you guys. I think I screwed that up. There you go. Just wanted to shoot the shit with you guys, talk about life and some things that have been going on, and about tuning cars and stuff. I haven't streamed in a little while. Things have been crazy. I've been doing a lot of stuff at home and switching over to Onshape from SolidWorks and trying to get a bunch of stuff lined up so that I can have better production, which obviously this is not the case right now. I'll change this in a second. There we go. Will this work? There we go. Better video production and better content overall, not just the production, but the content of it. A better location to do all those things and all of that. So I wanted to tell you guys about that. I don't know if I told you about me trying to buy a really nice cabinet setup. Today is an 05 OBXT with a Blauk 440 and yeah, that's it. It's nothing too crazy. There you go. Nothing too crazy. Just some cob stuff, and that's it, really. Hey, Dom, hope you well. Thank you, Grand Theft. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. I picked up the spring press you recently recommended for Mod Garage thing. That thing is sweet. Yeah, Ryan, I'm glad. Yeah, that thing is amazing, right? Like, it's so good. It makes me want to do suspension work. Like, it makes me want to do struts and springs and all of that. Like, I look forward to those jobs because it's that freaking good. No, I didn't get the cabinets. Oh, this thing's got a miss already. Okay, turn that off. Let me get I got the wrong thing open. There it is. Let's go live. All right. No, Aaron, no cabinets. I got my money back. I don't know, I told you so. Like, originally, I was getting all that stuff, and they were like, it'll be like around the 2nd. I was like, okay, fine. So on the 28th, I got an email that said, you got your stuff here in Spokane on Wednesday the 26th. I'm like, okay, cool, sweet. You know, you guys dropped off on the 2nd? They're like, first time we have available is the 8th. And I was like, it's the 28th right now. You guys are already 2 weeks behind. What do you mean you want to wait another, basically 2 weeks from the time that you got the cabinets to deliver them? Like, that's unacceptable. No, like, you need to do it like the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. And they're like, oh, that's not available. I said, well, you need to make it available. Like, I'm already way behind on this. You guys were behind on this. Like, I paid for this time frame, and you guys needed to fulfill it. And they're like, yeah, well, it's not available. I was like, I don't care. I started getting angry. I was like, I don't care if it's available. You need to make it available. And then I was like, well, can I just pick them up? They're like, yeah, you can pick them up if you want, but we got to talk to the shipper, make sure they're okay with you doing will call. And so I said, well, where's the warehouse? So I know, like, how far I got to go. And like, oh, we can't tell you that. Like, what do you mean you can't tell me that? You can't tell me where the warehouse was? Like, well, just give me a general idea of where it is. And just give me a general idea where it's at so I know if it's worth my time or not. And like, well, company policy, we can't tell you. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, approximate location. North Spokane, east, west, something? Nope, they wouldn't tell me. I was like, you fuck. I was so mad. And so I said, look, you're going to deliver it the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, or you're going to send it back. They're going to send it back. Like, I'm done dealing with you. Don't ever email me, text me, or call me again unless it's to tell me that you're going to be here on those days. And they didn't respond, so I fucking did a chargeback and told them to kiss my ass, basically. And I told the company, I've already initiated a chargeback or a dispute on this. Thanks for trying, but you know, you guys need to seriously consider someone else for doing your shit, because like they don't care about any obligations that they've made. And what bugged me even more than that was that the shipping company, I wasn't getting somebody in Spokane. I was getting someone in a different freaking country. It was always some person with 4 last names, and the definitely doesn't live in Spokane, and it was like 5 different people, and it was just, I was getting passed around from one person to the next, whoever would answer the thing. I'm pretty sure it was offshore. I'm positive it was offshore support, and they didn't care. They didn't care. So I said, screw you guys, you make my effing money, I'm done. Okay, so let's see what's going on here at Idle. I don't feel a misfire right now. The Idle's recovering from the start. Oh, I feel it right there. I feel a little misfire. Let's see. ECU says it is 0 cylinders. My nose itches. I got a summer cold. I think summer colds are the worst. Summer colds suck. Like, it's already hot outside and then you feel yucky. You're like, ugh. Let's see. This button? Oh. Okay. Like, I can feel a little bit of misfire, but the reference monitors are all zeros, so they're not showing it. I got some correction though. Definitely got correction. He said that it gets angry when the AC is on, so let's turn the AC on. Oh, look at that. Look at that correction. Holy shit. That's way off. That would explain why it's angry. Alright, I feel more misfire, but nothing's coming on roughness, so it must be just so sporadic or soft that it's not catching it. Our airflow's all over the place. Look at that. That is not good. MAF is never that sporadic unless it's got a fan blowing on it. I'm guessing that's what's going on there. Let's see, I'm turning AC off. Look how much it stabilizes. So the fan is blowing on the mass airflow sensor. Look at that. Look how crazy it goes. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is not good. I don't even remember what kind of intake this thing's got on it. Let's see. I thought it was a Cobb SF, but maybe not. Stock. What the fuck? How does that make sense? Stock intake. That's bizarre. Oh, can't reach that. 1 second, guys. Sorry for the MySpace fucking camera angles. All right. Actually, the AC compressor turned off. It might just be cycling really fast. It might just be low on. It might just be low on refrigerant because it's not that cold right now. Let's see if that fan is going. Ryan, are you working in Tier 1? Yeah, so I still tune on Tier 1's Dyno. Could be your extra fans, location plus AC fan. Yeah, it's actually not even hitting the math. Believe it or not, like that factory box and everything is intact. Doesn't look like it's leaking any. The snorkel's there. So it isn't that, it's something else causing it. But because this AC doesn't feel super cold, I'm wondering if the clutch is kicking on and off. Because right now my AC says it's on and the airflow is steady and there's no compressor running. So I'm suspecting that the jitter is that the AC signal is on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. I don't know if Cobb looks at the AC compressor. I don't think it does, honestly. Yeah, I don't see anything on those switches. And I can't open source it because it's Cobb. With open source, at least it'll tell me if that switch is on or off. I don't have that option, it's not on here. Because I can tell right now, I don't think that compressor's running. If it is, it's not right. Turn it off. Oh, okay, it might have been going. Let's see, turn off the AC again. Do it this way. I don't feel cool air right now, so I think that AC might just be low on charge and the compressor was cycling. Because now everything's stable again. Unless I did something, I wiggled the wires on the MAF. I mean, maybe I wiggled the wire to the MAF sensor and it's possible that it had a loose connection or something because the read is not jumping around anymore, it's stable. This AC is not doing very good, but it is cooling the air some, and the read is now stable. Huh. Weird. I also suspect that this mass airflow sensor is old. I feel like it's not recording high enough voltage. AC should be over 5 grams, and it's not. And if it was, it would not be lean right now. It's got a 14% correction on it. And usually AC would be like 1.5 volts, somewhere around there. Let's see, and right now we're only at 1.3 volt. 1.3 is normal idle voltage for an EJ25. Yeah, I turn it off, it drops down to 1.2 something volts. So I don't think we're getting enough voltage from the mass airflow sensor right now. I think this MAF is old and tired. I'm going to drive it a little bit and see if that holds true. It's lean kind of everywhere. We're in the mid-range here. I don't know how it moves. Correct, that's what I'm saying. The airflow isn't going up when the AC kicks on. It is, but not enough. So the computer idles up. It adds a certain airflow target based on the AC being on or off. So it adds a portion of airflow to the target, moves the throttle to that position after a predefined delay, then it activates the compressor clutch to keep it from bogging the engine down, right? So it goes throttle to push it up and increase the torque of the engine, and then after a delay, engages the clutch. And so with the increase in throttle and the increase in horsepower needed, right? Like the mass airflow sensor is basically an indication of horsepower. If I'm pulling 4 grams, I'm making about 4 horsepower on the engine to keep it running. That's compressing the valves, dragging the belt, turning the cams, turning the AC, spinning the flywheel. All that stuff takes power to do so. Windage losses, pumping air behind the cylinders, behind the pistons, they move around, right? All that is horsepower the engine needs to stay idling. And so if I add the load of the air conditioner, I'm adding horsepower that needs to be created by the engine to power the air conditioner. And it needs to be the exact same amount of basically torque, right? Engine torque needs to be the exact same amount as the load torque for it to stay at 1 RPM and therefore be idle. So they know the horsepower requirement of the AC compressor. They know what that equates to for mass airflow. As soon as the compressor request is live and all the conditions are met with pressure, etc., then it bumps up the idle position. The certain amount engages the compressor, and then it should be a seamless transition into AC compressor running or not. Problem is that right now the idle air with the AC off is already low, and then with the AC on it is going up, but it's not going up enough, and so it's running lean in there. But that doesn't explain what I saw a second ago where the voltage was bouncing around like crazy. It doesn't seem to be doing it right now, but it was bouncing around a lot a second ago before I went under the hood. It's doing some bouncing again right now, and it really makes me think that one of the issues is, one, the mass airflow sensor, and 2, the AC might be tripping on and off because of low pressure. Because like I said, this air is not that cold. It's cool-ish, but it's not cold. So there absolutely could be a ground issue. That's totally possible. That's totally possible. Put a little more loads. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna check some stuff first. I don't want to get too caught up on the map. I'll make sure everything else. Oh, motherfucker. That sucks. Let me show you guys this one. Alright, watch this AVCS. It's up here on the top right. So that sucks. AVCS isn't working correctly. I don't have 40 as a target anywhere, and you saw I go all the way to 40 on the right bank. What's crazy though is it looks almost like both valves are bad, which I mean can happen. I mean, it's an 05. It's got 200,000 miles on it. So it looks like both AVCS valves are bad. So that sucks. It's lagging. So what's happening is not letting enough through. So it doesn't let enough through, it lags, and so the duty cycle keeps climbing up. And then eventually the duty cycle is so high, and the oil flow is enough to advance the cams, that then it's got to drop the duty cycle down again, but the valve isn't throttling correctly, and so then it drops down too far, and then it goes up too far. So yeah, and when you get an old valve like this, sometimes you can often take them out and see that either they're gummed up or they don't go as far when they move. You can trigger them with either a battery or whatever, and you can watch them move, and you get a new one and they go to the end of the travel, and the old ones be like meow and bounce and move around or whatever. They just don't work like they're supposed to. That's typically what it is. Sometimes it's the can gear, but not usually. It's usually the solenoid. Let's see. Fuck. Of course, it's the dude that drove from the West Coast to get here. Oh, I'm an idiot. I was looking for my phone to text Lane. Oh, it's right there in front of me. Shit stains. All right, I'm gonna do a sweep. I'm gonna do a wastegate pressure sweep. And see where the air fuels are, see if it's lean or rich. It's lean. Although the mass airflow reading and the wheel horsepower are close. Usually that's not close when they're lean like that. It's pretty close. I don't think it's close enough though. The problem's on both sides. They're both wrong. Both valves are behaving wrong. One of them is worse than the other. The right side is definitely worse than the left, but they're both off. I mean, at least the left one goes right to 30. Now it's just the right side valve. Do the right side valve, see if they go in with each other. There's no reason to swap them. They go bad all the time. It's not an uncommon thing. These oil control valves are bad all the time. I would say probably 30% of the tunes I get, if the car is old in 2012, it's got a bad solenoid. If 30 might be conservative, it might be higher than that. So they're always bad. And mass airflow sensors too. I've never seen a mass airflow sensor show up older than '08. That's good from the factory, like 0. There's too many years on, 2 miles on them now. Too much degradation of the wires, exposure to water and chemicals and moisture, etc. They've just degraded, and they don't provide the correct voltage. So it's almost 100% on MAF swaps on cars that show up older than '08. And then from like 8 to 12, it's about probably 35% to 40%. There's a lot of them are not good anymore. We always keep them on the shelf because of it. They just don't survive that long. So mass airflow sensors and electrical solenoids are the most common thing done on the dyno all the time. So if you're at a shop that's not doing them, then someone's missing it, because there's no way that I somehow get all the cars with bad solenoids and MAF sensors. It just doesn't happen. So yeah, so we're gonna do that. I'll probably do the right side first, since that was the most egregious of the solenoids. See how that behaves, and then also do the mass airflow sensor and see if I get more idle volts than what I had. So that's what I'm gonna do. And this Windows thing is pissing me off. Let's cross this off your list. Let's restart. Let's do a fucking update. I don't want to do a fucking update. In fact, I even ran the patch that's supposed to stop it from wanting to do a fucking update, but it doesn't work because it keeps wanting to do an update. So, really annoying. I don't want to go to 10 on this computer. I like it where it's at, or at 11. I like it on 10 where it's at. Don't stop asking me to change shit. Okay, well, I have to go do this. So I would not expect anyone to sit around and wait staring at a window and a steering wheel while I do that. But I am going to leave the stream open to go change those out, or at least get all of you guys to see if they have any here. We should, because like I said, we always do them. And then hopefully that goes. And if they change out, then I'll be back here doing some polls in a few minutes. Should plug the phone in for some juice. Disconnect from light ECU so I can turn the key off.
I got a B300 on an SP25.
What?
I got a B300 random misfire on an SP25.
It's ran. Thanks, buddy.
It beats test it, it's got nothing. And I just checked the plugs and they're bent.
Where are they? They were close?
And then it's still PIX 11 operated.
Oh. All right, edit the last 30 minutes of that out. That's acceptable. The left one's a little slow still. It's a little slower than the right, but it's hitting targets, so I'm okay with that. Turning the fan on. Still don't like how lean it is. I mean, I'm on the factor mass scale. It should be not a problem. Alright, have to do a hole on it. Cam timing tracked, air fuel was plenty rich. No knock. There's a weird lane spike though. At 6,500 it goes, woo! I don't think I have that in my fuel map, but maybe I do. Let me go back and check my fuel map and see what's up. That's my load right there. 2.4 at 6,500. Definitely don't have that lean spot on the map. Okay, well, let's bring up injector duty cycle. I didn't log it on there. Didn't think it'd be an issue, but it might be an issue. Injector duty cycle. I want command and fuel final in case there was something happened there. And turn off reference monitors because that seems okay now. And throttle position, I'm going to add that. Alright. Made no power. None. Sorry, phone was in the way. Let me see my screen. Put it over here instead. There we go. Got no timing on it. It's a base map, so that's good. But I mean, even at 19 degrees at red line on 13 pounds, 14 pounds, I thought it'd make more power than 232. It is an Outback though, and on stock mufflers and all of that. But everywhere else is good. The bowl. Changes on the roll, no changes. No whammies, stop. Let's see. Just with the log, more stuff log this time. So ABCS is working mint now, at least on the left side. The right side is acceptable. It's a smidge laggy. Weird. It leans out and then it goes rich again. That's a weird trend to have. And I'm not seeing. Oh, I am seeing the logs. Wait, what? No. Okay, there it is. I was like, what the fuck am I seeing? Okay, so the end of the pole is right here. And I got 10-9. 10-8, 11, 10-9, 10-9, 10-9, 11-0, 10-9, 10-9 is commanded. So 0.1 AFR there. Shouldn't be seeing that. Duty cycle though on the injectors are interesting because they go to 62 and just stop. Stay 62 from 6,000 to red line. Oh, it bumps up to 64 for a second. So it's. You would think the duty cycle would be going up if I'm keeping fuel on the engine. Commanded, but this is really weird. Mass airflow is going up as it should the whole time. It's increasing all the way to red line. Throttle position 100%. Boost is flat. So 14 pounds solid the whole way. Intake air temp stays within a degree. Timing's going up normally. Everything is normal. Command and fuel final is within 0.1 AFR, but injector duty stops at 62% at 6,200 coincidentally, and keeps it all the way to red line. That's peculiar. Other than that excursion, air fuels are money. I'll tell you guys a story. There's no one here to watch it, so, you know, I can say whatever I want. Yesterday, there was a fire. And the fire was previously unreported. I was riding my side-by-side through the mountains, up to a vantage point that I like to overlook, and I look at this vantage point, and I see smoke. Over the hill and over another hill, I see smoke. And I was like, that's the way they're doing burns. It's just not happening. So Idaho Inland Paper Company, Inland Empire Paper Company's land. So there's no houses there. There's a lot of trails. There's a lot of people that go there every day to check things out. But I was like, I should probably go see what the hell's going on, see if this is to be there, you know. I looked over the edge. I couldn't see enough, so we went found another trail, went down a couple other trails, popped out on another vantage point, looked down. I could see better where the fire was originating. I could see the trees and smoke billowing through the trees. Okay, the fire is right there behind those trees. And I'm looking for vehicles because, like I said, it's right next to a road, or I say a road, a fire trail. And I don't see any vehicles. I don't hear any people talking. I don't hear anyone shouting. I don't hear water being sprayed. I don't hear anything. And I'm a little concerned because, well, nobody wants a fire in their forest, right? So I said, screw it. Let's find another trail to get closer. We find the trail, we get down to the fire itself. We're at the fire, looking around, yelling for people. Hello, anybody out there? Yelling at people because we can't get through the forest because it's on fire. And it's hot. Luckily, it wasn't windy. Thank God it wasn't windy because I feel like this would have been a different story had it been windy. And we determined that no, there's no way this is a controlled fire, especially when all of a sudden, whoa, this tree just like almost blew up next to us. It lit. It sounds like a turbine spooling up when it goes off, almost like a flying overhead. At one point, I thought a plane was flying overhead, but it wasn't. It was a tree burning. The way that when the bottom leaves finally get hot enough to ignite, it ignites, and that chimney effect and the heat going just lights it straight up. And when it happens, it burns fast. It makes a lot of noise. Like that. And so the fire lights off, and we're like, we need to get the fuck out of here because it could be spreading fast. You know, the bigger it gets, the bigger it's gonna get. The faster it's gonna get big. So we jump back in the side-by-side, and we're trying to find cell phone signal. We're driving around looking for cell phone signal. We climb up the mountain, we get up there. He gets a little bit of signal, and he has Verizon. I have T-Mobile. He's just a little, like a bar, calls 911, can't get a hold. Finally gets to the ring. The lady can't hear him. He's breaking up. I pull mine out. I have no signal because I have T-Mobile. But I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, which has the satellite phone built into it for emergency calls. So I dial emergency and just wait for the satellite thing to kick on. Satellite thing kicks on. I get through via satellite to 911 emergency, and they're like, where are you calling from? It says a disconnected line. I'm like, I'm calling through satellite. And we're like, okay. But it was a good signal. I could talk to her. And what was funny is the operator that my friend was getting was like, what cross street is it? And he's like, there's no cross street. We're in the forest. But where's it at? He's like, I have coordinates. Well, it'd be easier to tell me what cross street it's at. He's like, there's no streets, lady. Like, we had to keep yelling at this lady. There's no street. We're in the middle of the forest. There's no streets. What don't you understand? And so that operator was not good, which is weird because she was in Bonner County, and they have forest studies. So you think like she'd get it that there's a fucking forest fire, and that's what we're trying to tell her, but she didn't for some reason. Anyways, so I'm tuning. Anyways, I finally get through. I tell the lady, I give her the GPS coordinates of the fire, and she's like, all right, cool, we'll send people out. And then we rode away from it to get one of our where we had seen the fire earlier from a better vantage point, but a safer vantage point from further away. So we ride up, and we're up there, and we're waiting for the fire planes. Like, I live right by the airport, the small airport, Coeur d'Alene, and that's only like 7-8 miles from where we are. Maybe a little more than that, maybe 10, but it's not many miles. And my wife is calling me because she's on final. Or she sent me a text message. She sent me a text saying, a plane just took off, plane just took off, plane just took off, fire planes. Is they coming to you? Nope, nothing. For hours, fire planes took off, but none of them were coming to where we were. And I'm like, it just needs a chopper. It was small enough when I reported it that a chopper with a single bucket probably could have knocked it down enough that they could have waited hours for crews to show up and it would have been all right. But nobody was showing, and it was growing, and it was growing, and I felt so helpless. So incredibly helpless. Not a damn thing you can do about it. You know, you just sit there wishing that you could do something, and can't do a damn thing. And anyways, it took 2 hours for a chopper to show up. 2 freaking hours. And then it was dropping water. It wasn't dropping water on the fire. It was dropping water like above the fire on the hill, but it was really far away, and it didn't seem to do anything. Now, I believe they probably just trying to get everything really wet so the fire doesn't spread to that stuff. Luckily, it was green on the mountain there. It wasn't dry stuff. Sometimes just getting it wet so the fire just burns the fuel that it's on and goes out. I can see that happening. But they dropped 2 buckets on it and like never came back. So we sat there for hours taking pictures and videos and watching this fire, hoping more people would come and fight it. We saw some ground crews show up at one point. This thing's got the GR fucking lane spot. It's weird. It's not a GR, but it definitely has the GR spot. It's lane. Huh. I think I'm definitely getting fuel resonance in this thing. I don't see anything else that would explain this weird lean trend I'm getting. I added fuel and it got richer, but it still leans out there. Fuel pump duty stayed high this time. I made sure that was high. Everything was good. It just, at the very top end, has a little lean spot. It's weird. Anyway, so what I forgot to mention was that while we were waiting for the chopper to show up, we heard some kids screaming, yelling, and making a bunch of fucking noise down there by the fire. It was like about 40 minutes after it had started, we hear all these kids yelling and shit. 2 kids, not 2 kids yelling. And we're like, do you hear that? Oh, fuck, I hear that. It's definitely kids. It's not like trees burning and making weird noises. It was kids yelling. And I'm like, they're like, those voices are coming from the fire, like from that area. And so up there, we're like, dude, we gotta go down there. We gotta go see if they need help. So they, so we're listening as we're getting into the side-by-sides to go back down there again, close to the fire. And we hear a lady So probably their mom. I'll only assume it's their mom, a female woman, adult female. That's the word I'm looking for. She's in there. She's with them, and I hear her saying some shit. And then, I couldn't make out what she was saying, but I did hear at the end of a sentence, "Let's go," to the kids. So she was telling the kids, "Let's get the F out of here." And so we said, "Fuck it, we'll go down there and see what's going on." So we jump in the side by side, go back down there. We're yelling around. We don't see anybody. We don't hear anybody. Well, this is really weird. And then we go back up to the top again. We keep going back and forth up the top to stay clear of any, in case a fire plane came down and dumped retardant on us, or helicopter needed to drop water or anything like that. We're not in the way. So we go back up top mountain again, and when we're up there, we see what looks like an El Camino or a Ranchero or something, a white one, driving away from the fire. I caught that on video, actually. Driving away from the fire, and I was like, it's weird that a fire started up out of nowhere. You know, like, that just seems weird. Fire out of nowhere, and here these people are driving away. And we didn't see them drive to it, right? Like, we were there for a long time. We didn't see them drive to it. So I only assume, this is an assumption now, that they started it accidentally by leaving something unattended, went to go hike, pick huckleberries or whatever, because everyone loves to pick huckleberries out there. Went to go pick huckleberries, and while they were gone, the fire started. Came back from picking huckleberries. Kids are freaking out, obviously, because whatever they left there was on fire, whether they had a campfire or who knows what they had going on. And then mom was like, "Let's get the fuck out of here," and they split. And so we saw them drive off. But while we were down there, we're up close, and we're yelling at people, and nobody's there. The fire was really big this time. A whole section was just smoldering ash at one point. I get a video, I'm like sweeping the whole hillside, where it's just smoldering ash. And it's like ash, a line of ash, and then grass again, and then my whole feet. So it was like fucking right there. And then you follow it up, and then the flames are going across the road, and it was growing. So I was definitely probably closer than I should have been. But we backed up to the area so that we could, if we got out and needed to get out, we could just jump side by side and go straight and haul the fuck out. So we were there, yelling around, trying to see what's going on, trying to find people, do anything to help. Nothing. It's the most helpless feeling in the world, though, let me tell you, when there's a fire like that, and you're like, it would be so easy to put this out if I just had a little bit of something, a shovel to help dig dirt and throw it on, fuel and that kind of stuff. Anything would have helped. And we didn't have anything. It sucked. Hey, Mark. You probably just missed my story, but I was talking about how we found a forest fire yesterday and called it in and tried to help people and stuff. It was an event, that's for sure. It was weird because I was in the military, and in the Navy, we run to fires to put them out like immediately. As soon as there's a fire, like you're going as fast as you can to put this thing out. Last thing you want is a fire on the ship. And so that's still ingrained in me, that need to get to it and fight it immediately. I discovered yesterday that is still very much a part of my brain, like they definitely got that in me in there. So whatever you want to call that, brainwash or whatever, but it is definitely there. And it was really, really hard to sit there and watch it and hope something else showed up, or if there was a way that I could help or something. It was just so hard. Really hard. I'm almost done. Almost done. It's hard to work, you know, and do that stuff at the same time. But I'm almost done with it. I got to put one fitting in and one nipple, and then run the wire for the other. I have two separate areas. You know, I have like 3 zones and 3 zones. I have one on the front of the house, one on the back of the house, just because I didn't want it to run so much hose across the house just to go back again to where the other zones are going to be. So I said, screw it. I'll put 3 valves in one spot, bury them, and then put 3 valves in another spot and bury them. So I have them separated by 90 feet. So I got to get enough wire to bury wire, and for that other zone, I've got one done. I just ran out of wire. I mean, it's expected that I ran out of wire because I only bought 100 feet, and I need multiple hundreds of feet. So. But I've tested them, and it seems like my coverage is good. I'm happy with the coverage. I'm happy with the pressure. I got it all pretty much squared away now. By doing the way I did it, I have zones now for the greenhouse, and zones for the garden, zones for the backyard, and zones for the front of the house, for the front yard, and the side of the house, really. So I think it's a good setup. I spent too much money on it, though. Doing it myself, even. I spent too much money on it. But I'm pretty happy. I think I'm pretty happy with it. Anyways, right now what I'm doing is I'm working on the boost control, doing some pulls. Adjusting wastegate dynamics, the turbo dynamics. Which is the PI system. You've heard me talk about PID control systems in this stream before. The Subaru boost control for this era is just a PI. There's no D. There's no derivative in it. So I'm tweaking the PI system here, and I'm trying to get the freaking boost control to work. I didn't look and see if you put an aftermarket EBCS in this thing. You fucking might not have one in there, which would definitely be an issue because you need it on these things. This thing says I went over the boost target? It's only 14 pounds. How'd that be over the boost target? What RPM is that? 3,800, 14 pounds. It says it's over my boost target. Boost target. 3,800. Oh yeah, sure enough, that is definitely my boost target. I got that in a little too late. This turbo spool is a little faster than I thought it was going to. So let me bump that up a smidge. Right there. Gotta be careful on these 5-speeds. You don't want to tear the guts right out of them. So I try not to just hammer them with boost. Okay, so that might fix that issue altogether. Yeah, low gas light. All right, horsepower is climbing the red line, so that's good. Means I'm not too aggressive on the timing. I'm not working too hard. Boost is pretty flat. I'm really excited about that. Everything's gonna be doing a lot better. That's a lot better. 304 for 270. After some changes. Oops. Causing it to have a negative effect on the wastegate duty cycle, mainly because the target that I had set at that RPM was actually lower than wastegate pressure, so it didn't work out. So because the wastegate was already giving me more than that, the boost control system couldn't provide less, and by asking it to, it was pulling wastegate duty cycle down. So then I have this integral wind down, which is almost the opposite of what integral wind up is, obviously. And with that wind down, then when it tried to go back to the higher target, the duty cycle was already too low. So instead of adding to my duty cycle or doing anything like that, what I really needed to do was fix my target. My target was just off. So fix the target. I no longer had that unnecessary winding down of the duty cycle, and that fixed the boost control system issue. I like it. I'm trying to be easy on this transmission, right? I don't want to go blasting through this poor fucking 5-speed's guts and just spew on the dyno. And I don't want this guy to have to drive a broken car home because he lives in Seattle, which is, you know, he drove 5.5, 6 hours to get here. So I definitely want it to hold together. So I'm trying to keep the mid-range torque lower and give him something that's still fun to drive and does good. So that was 18 pounds of boost at redline. The boost pretty much tapers up to redline the whole way, so boost is climbing like that. And I'm going to keep pushing on it up there a little bit. Keep raising the target up top. See if I can get it around 1920 at redline. And then that door open? Oh, it's a seatbelt thing. I don't even hear that shit. I'm sure you guys probably listened the whole time. Right? Tune too many cars. Yeah, so my goal now is to add a little more boost to it, taper it more, or add more to it across the power bands, because it's still pretty safe. I got the timing pretty low. My timing is really safe. So as the boost comes in and it hits its first point around 3,500 and 13.5 pounds, I've got 12 degrees on it. Boost climbs up a little bit more. At 38, it's down to 11.5 degrees, and it never gets below 11.5 again. At 45, it's 12.5. At 5,000, it's 13.5. At 55, it's 15. 6,000, we're at 17. 65, we're at 18.5. And red line is 68. So I got it. It's at 19 and 20. It's bouncing between those two. Looks like 19. 20 was my let off. So pretty conservative for an EJ 255 that's got D25 heads. This isn't a B25 head motor. It's actually other one. It's not it's D25. It's a B25 head motor. So it'll take a lot more timing than that. So my goal is to not throw the timing at it in the low to mid-range area, because one, that raises torque, and that's harder on the tranny. It's also harder on the engine. I mean, plain and simply, the more time you have on it, the more likely to lift the freaking heads off of it. So I'm adding a little bit of timing above 4K and a little bit more at red line above 56. 79. Hold on a second. Yeah. Add a smidge more 56. Like that. Also adding on the boost. I know the timing and the boost aren't going to be totally cumulative, because as you go up in boost, timing drops, but the fuel is still pretty rich, nice and conservative, so it's really safe, which is good, because this guy doesn't need it to be a rocket ship. I'm not making that decision for him, he said it. But an 05 OBXT with the fuel light on. Alright, it is really, really, really rich. I'm into the 10s right now. I think some of that is because the fuel light's on. I think we've pushed the fuel temp up enough that the ECU is correcting for it and adding the fuel. Granted, my commanded fuel is 10.6 on the top end, but that was mainly to compensate for that lean spot I was getting. But yeah, we're really rich on it right now. So I'll pull some out of it. Yeah. You know, I got something to say. Obviously besides the whole potentially preventing a gigantic forest fire by pursuing aggressively the source of the fire and figuring out if it needs to be called in or not. Why are people always looking for reasons to be upset? And why are people always looking to interpret the things that you say in a way to help facilitate their desire to be upset? I said something to a customer, straight as can be. I don't want to e-tune it. I need the car here in front of me. Something's wrong. Those are three things. The person interpreted it as, it's all your fault, your car's fucking broken, I don't want to tune your shit. That's how he interpreted it. And the plan was always to have me tune in person. It's supposed to be like a 1,200 horsepower car. Like, we shouldn't be e-tuning a 1,200 horsepower car. You know, like, and something wasn't right, and I didn't know what it was. And I didn't want to keep trying to do shit e-tuning on a car that's got gigantic injectors in it when it's a brand new motor. You know, I use all my senses. Like, I'm in the car now, right? I told you I felt it misfiring, but it wasn't showed up on the monitor. I felt it. I'm listening. I hear the tick in the engine. I hear the sounds the turbo makes. I'm listening to the exhaust note, to all these things, right? I'm feeling, I'm smelling for fumes from different areas of the car, oil, fuel, things burning off of surfaces. Like, I have all my senses involved in this car right now. And more than just numbers on a screen. And I can't do that on an e-tune. And on a new motor that's being broken in on ethanol, which I never recommend. I never, ever, ever recommend breaking an engine with ethanol. It's a terrible practice. I don't think you should do it. Last thing I need is for there to be something that I could have heard or felt or smelt or seen to be causing engine damage to this thing, right? Like, too often people get impatient and they're in a hurry and they've got this, they're so close to hearing it do whatever that they start cutting corners and doing things that are unsafe or not good for the longevity of the car, or even it might fail immediately afterwards, you know what I mean? And I've got to tell people, no, we're not e-tuning this, you got to bring it to me. And I'm not trying to say I don't want to tune your fucking car. I'm trying to say that if you want your car done right and you want it to last, then you shouldn't be doing this shit via email. 1700 say cc injectors or 2600 cc injectors shouldn't be on a fucking on a car you're breaking anyways, honestly. So so the guy found another tuner. He was like, deuces Dom, and fucking split. And he got somebody else to do it. But he flew somebody in. To do it in person. Just, yeah. He took what I said and saw a bunch of other stuff and became angry and found somebody else. After spending years talking to the guy, tons of time helping, doing shit for free on a Sunday even, and that kind of stuff, it was, fuck this guy, he's not in a hurry like I am, he's getting somebody else. And so we got somebody else. And I don't understand, there was no need for that. He could have asked more questions, he could have said something. But nothing, he never responded, that was it, it was done. All I said was, I need to see the car in person, there's something wrong with it, I need to get my hands on it so I can evaluate any issues, you know, and I'm not going to continue doing this remotely. Yeah, fuck me, I guess. Like, there's so much that goes into it, and, you know. Anyways, but the dude was looking for a reason. He was looking for a reason to be upset. He dug into my statements and literally told somebody else that I said it was totally his fault. It was 100% his fault and totally not tune related by any means, or all this kind of stuff that I never said. There is an issue. Mechanical, electrical, tune, it could be fucking anything. I don't know what it is. If I knew what it was, I'd have said what the fuck it was and we'd have fixed it already. You know, could it be tuned? Sure, absolutely. But I wasn't keep fighting with the tune because I was obviously missing something. Something about the build. Turns out it had different injectors I thought it had in it. And a different throttle body than I thought I had in it. Because I was never told all the build stuff. Things got changed from when I built the base map 3 or 4 months ago, however fucking long it was, to now. And I was never told those things, and it wasn't right. And if I was there, I would have been like, oh hey, well what's this? That looks different. I could have looked at it. I guess, hey, that doesn't look like the color of the 17. That's a longer injector, that's a shorter injector. That's, you know, there's things that, you know, that's a different plug. There's things that I could have seen that would have clued me in. I could have heard it. Oh, it's missing. It's missing because it's rich. Not because it's lean, missing because it's rich. But if you have a miss, it feeds oxygen in the exhaust. O2 sensor reads lean, and you think, oh, it's missing because it's lean, right? It's hard to know without being there in the car and being able to decide, is it missing because it's rich, missing because it's lean? That's a tricky one, because misses read lean. And, you know, all these things I could have been there and caught, and I can work so much faster in person. So much faster. You're talking to you guys, I can work faster in person doing this than I can tuning via the internet. And, yeah, I totally got fucked on it. I got shit talked by a bunch of people. Don't know what I'm doing. My bass knot was bad. I don't fucking know how to tune. You know, clear this other guy's better, and just fucking a bunch of shit talking. And I wasn't supposed to tune the car. Honestly, it was supposed to be somebody else's tune. I was just helping them get it ready for the tune. But I wasn't informed of everything, and the person was too impatient. And it really boils down to the fact that they were looking for something to be offended and angry about. And there was nothing. There was just honesty and a concern for doing the job the right way. And so I just wish that people looked for reasons to be happy versus looking for reasons to be angry. And I rant and I do shit like that. But I do that because I'm trying to be happy and then something gets in my way. I'm not digging for something to be pissed off about. I'm trying to be happy, I'm trying to do cool shit, and then something gets in my way. I find out through somebody else, who heard it from somebody else, who sends me a screenshot of someone talking shit about me, about this car, that I still thought, to the day I found out that the other guy was flying into his car, I thought he was bringing me the car. I still thought he was bringing me the car. I had no idea at all. The dude didn't say shit. No fucking idea that I was being just shit canned after all that help. So I just wish people would look for more reasons to be happy and less reasons to be angry. Don't interpret shit and just take things for what they are when someone says something. Yeah, that's what I wish. So right now, I got friends that are racing right now. Any of my assistants, the turbocharged Nova is at the track right now. He's been texting me. My parents have been texting me like crazy. So I need to stop the stream. I'm pretty much done with this car. I was just polishing a few things in the tune. Let me show you where we're at on the. Oh. All right. See how good that looks? I'm just kidding. Let me zoom out for you. There it goes. Okay, so let's boost AFRC how rich it is. I leaned it out, but we're gonna put fuel in this thing because it's out of fuel. So I can't do any more pulls on it like that. Let's boost. Here is power. Hey, Hyphen. I know you showed up just in time for me to split. Sorry. And here's torque. Pretty flat. I'm digging it. It's on a different axis. I got to change that. It says 500. Obviously, it's not 500. Crosses to 5250. Boop. So that's not bad for a 100-something degree day right now. Hey, Gordon. That's the owner. All right. Turn this off. Let's see if I can find some fuel. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. If you didn't hear it, go back and listen to my story about finding the forest fire. And yeah, I hope that you guys find reasons to be happy. That's the biggest thing, I think. Just look for that. Don't look for the other. If the other thing gets in the way, then be angry about it. But look for reasons to be happy, please. And don't interpret shit that just ain't there. A lot of people do that, and there's no reason for it. Just take things, especially if you're talking to me, because I am as straightforward and honest. I say what I mean what I say kind of guy. So I just want people to understand. This is what I said. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else, nothing behind that. If you need more information, ask. But I mean, I tell people to fuck off all the time. So if you think I'm telling you to fuck off, the way to find out is, look, did he use the words fuck and off? Because if I didn't, then that's not what I'm telling you. So please, look for reason to be happy. Don't interpret it ain't there. Other than that, have yourselves a great day. I'm going to go work on this car some more, and I call these people back.